Today, we follow Mike McClelland, the 7-time Bassmaster champion, fishing on the Ozark Plateau, northwest of Arkansas. We'll learn a thing or two about what we need to do to have a successful fishing day in late winter.
We're kind of in that strange time of the year where you're trying to go from winter to the early spring, but it's been a fairly mild winter, and it's kind of that challenge today. We were talking about, what do you do this time of the year when the fish really haven't decided, do they want to be in their winter pattern or do they want to be in that pre-spawn, early spring pattern where they start to move up. The wind's supposed to blow like 20, 25 mile an hour today, and we're going to fish some back ends of some creeks, try to stay out of the wind. One of the biggest things about fishing this time of the year is taking advantage of the conditions. We're going to see what we can make happen today. Probably one of the biggest things about this time of the year is being prepared for the conditions. Like I said, it's not super cold today, but the biggest thing about wintertime fishing is making sure that you're prepared for the conditions. Whether it's undergarments, guide wear, your overgarments, your Cabela's guide wear that you want to wear to break the wind. Those are all important things. You got to make sure you're prepared for these cold winter days. We're looking at water temperatures in the mid-40s. Now, it's been a lot colder, and that's what makes this year a little bit unique. We had some super cold weather about 2 or 3 weeks ago. The water temperatures actually got down close to 40 degrees, and we've actually had a little bit of a warming trend. So I really feel like these fish are probably moving a little bit. I'm not saying they're full-blown going from their winter pattern into their spring pattern, but what I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for bait, I'm looking for key features out here where these fish are going to start staging and start looking to move into the spawning areas. They're not ready to spawn, but they're going to start thinking about it pretty quick. And anytime you get these, especially during these warming periods, I really feel like a stick bait, a rock crawler, things like that are going to be baits that you can catch them on. First thing I want to do before I ever start fishing the bait is just pitch it out over the side of the boat, pull it down, and make sure that that bait isn't rising. I want to make sure that bait's suspended in the water column or just slightly sinking. And really, the colder the water gets, the more you might want that bait to sink rather than suspend or float. And sometimes you've got to get that stick bait so it's just slowly sinking to those fish, so you make sure you get it down to the depth that they're at. There's one right there. We'd eventually get him to bite. I can see him on my pan optics coming up right now. You can see I was just fishing that thing extremely slow, and these dudes don't have hardly any life in them right now. That water is cold. Not a giant, but a good healthy little Ozark bass. Like I said, the biggest thing about it is just slowing down in the wintertime. That stick 110, I've got it suspending, sinking just slightly. That fish got a mouthful of it. That's the biggest thing is slowing down, taking your time. I've probably had 30, 45 seconds on that one cast before that fish finally bit, and I could see him out there on my pan optics, and I was just taking advantage of all the situations I had to deal with. Nice little way to get the day started. Boy, there's a wad of them out there. Look at him right there. You see him on the string right there? Look at him following him. That is what is so cool about that stuff. Ain't that old red rock crawler he did. Let's get back out there and see if we can catch another one. There is a bunch of them right there. Yes. Boy, they don't have any fight in them right now. That water is so cold. Yeah. Twirling his way in. There's a better one when he did it. You can see, we pulled up right there, and you can see that brush pile right there. That's exactly, I threw out there about 70 feet. I worked it to it, stopped it, set it over the top of it, and that's when that fish ate it.